So both of you participated in the session with Jennifer Newman, who currently serves as the Associate Artistic Director of the Schwarzman Center. How is this process different from learning choreography in a typical Zoom dance class or in a studio?
While it was somewhat structured, it was really free, and we got to decide our own dance moves instead of learning. It was also really interesting to explore a different kind of space to dance in. Usually, it's a big open space and you don't interact with a lot of the things around you, except, other people maybe. But in the room, I was interacting with like a window. And so it opened my eyes to like what other avenues dance can go down.
My experience was very similar in ballroom dance, especially when you do it competitively. What you're constantly learning is how to perfect certain moves. There's not that much creativity involved, to be honest. So what you're doing is just to try to make something perfect. That's how I have been dealing with dance for years now. It was a really transformative experience.
We brought 2 photos that meant something to us. I think it was a family photo and a photo of nature. I used the photo of nature for my inspiration. She had us picture the picture that we brought in our heads and then kind of draw out or illustrate in some way with our body the photo. And then we brought it back at the end to make a kind of a mini routine. She had me like dance with my hair upside down. That was pretty interesting.
So I remember that she said, draw with your right shoulder part of that space. And that's the kind of experience that I had never even could imagine that's possible. And I was trying to kind of how can I draw with my shoulder? So she started to then pay attention to what we were doing, and then it became kind of like a back and forth. For instance, she noticed that lamp and that plant that I had there, and then she was like, oh, bring them in front of your camera. And then she started to ask me to do different things with them.
Yeah, it's interesting because both of you are ballroom dancers. So being able to dance without a partner in this virtual space, how does one partner with a window or everyday objects when you're not with humans?
Remember that Katie got the camera and somehow put it on the floor, I guess. And then there was something on the ceiling. I think it was a smoke detector, right?
Overhead light.
And then she started to kind of do some really interesting things with that as the idea. And then I immediately got the idea and I started to, and I kind of put my camera upside down and I started to kind of pretend that the ceiling is the floor and do something. So it was kind of partnering, but it was an indirect way of partnering because I was seeing what Katie was doing and I was getting ideas.
Could you both share one highlight from your experience or a moment you found particularly interesting or challenging?
One of the challenges was physically. I was in the windowsill. So I was bending over backwards or putting my leg up and I don't know, things like that. It was very interesting. I think there were a few words that she used as inspiration at the end. The one that I was really proud of for the movement was a sheen.
Yeah, I think probably for me, the most challenging part was exactly when she was asking me to express different things with different parts of my body. And this is not something that I have thought about or trained for.
Arman, didn't she also ask you to dance with your face at one point?
Yes, she did.
The whole routine. That seemed really hard. I was watching it. I was I don't know how he's coming up with this.
Yeah, with my face. She also asked us to pretend that we are entering the window of the Zoom chat with different body parts like hand and face. And again, all of that was pure creativity, creation, and that was pushing me, and I really liked that.